Good morning everyone. In today's video, we will be discussing short-run equilibrium of the monopoly market. See, in a perfect competitive market, they tries to maximize their profit. In the same way, even the monopolist wanted to maximize their profit level. So here what is the assumption is, here the monopoly market will not hold any stock of output produced, and the entire output whatever they are producing, it will be put up for sale. This is what the assumption. And here the short run equilibrium of a monopoly market is studied under two different situations. One is simple situation when the cost of production is 0. So when the cost of production is 0, that means there is no cost while manufacturing a good. So when the cost of production is 0, the another situation is when the cost of production is positive. So the cost of production is 0, we discussed in the previous video, and today let us discuss the cost of production, a situation when the cost of production is positive. So we are going to discuss about this topic today. That means short run equilibrium of the monopoly market, where a simple situation, that is when the cost of production is positive. Excuse me. So generally production cost is positive. Okay, so in the previous video I have explained about the cost of production is 0. That is, I told you already in that story, it is very rare situation. Okay, it goes like a village in a farm. There is only one well, all other villagers are coming here to fetch water, and there is no cost. That means to dig the well, and water is the only source where he supplies, and whatever the charge he prices, that will be the highest revenue for them. That is very rare case, but usually, really, that is always the cost of production will be positive only. Okay, so here we consider the short-run equilibrium for a monopolist facing positive cost of production. So this will be studied here. This will be studied under the two methods. So generally production cost will be positive. Here it will be positive. That is the real thing which is happening in the present economy. And now where this concept we are going to study by using the two methods. One is called as TR and TC approach. The another one is MR and MC approach. See, TR means total revenue, TC means total cost. MR means marginal revenue, MC means marginal cost. But you don't have this marginal cost and marginal revenue concept here. We are going to discuss only about the total revenue and total cost. See, total revenue means the total money income received by the firm is called as a total revenue, and the total money spent by the firm to produce a goods is called as a total cost. By using the total revenue and total cost, we are going to discuss in today's video. That is by taking total revenue and total cost approach. Okay, so according to this approach, a monopoly firm attains its equilibrium. So when equilibrium means, we know that it is attaining a equal situation. Okay, equilibrium. So this is under the short run equilibrium. So when it is attaining the short run firm, when it is attaining a equilibrium means at the point where the difference between the total revenue and total cost is maximum. When the difference between, see, I'll tell you one example here to make it clear understanding of this concept. Already I told you about few things. The profit is measured as, it is said as pi. So pi equals TR minus TC. This is the formula, okay, to calculate the profit. See, 100 rupees spent and received, this is revenue, this is cost. 100 rupees received means this is the normal profit. 100 rupees spent and got 80 rupees. So 100 rupees is the revenue, cost spent is 80 rupees means it is profit. 100 rupees got the revenue, but 150 rupees spent means this is the loss. Have you understood the concept? This is the profit, means above more than the cost, revenue must be greater. So when the revenue and cost are equal, it is a normal profit. So when the cost is more, revenue is less, we consider this as a loss. Okay. Now this is what we are going to study under this concept. Now you have to understand, when the short run, the monopoly firm attains its equilibrium means at the point where the difference between TR and TC is maximum. When TR and TC is maximum, the monopoly firm attains equilibrium. So at this point, the monopoly firm reaches a equilibrium with maximum profit. The short run equilibrium situation using TR and TC approach will be explained with the help of a diagram. Now this diagram is most important by using in a monopoly, by using this. See, you may think by looking at this, what is this? The diagram is different and difficult. Nothing. Previously in the 3rd chapter we discussed about the production and the cost. So there we studied about the cost, total variable cost, average variable cost, average fixed cost, marginal cost, like that the concept we studied. And in the previous chapter and present chapter we discussed about the total revenue, average revenue and marginal revenue. So the curves and all which is used in this diagram is the same which is explained in the previous videos. If you wanted to know the curves, you go back to the previous video which I have done already. Now we'll see just here what is the thing is given. So OY axis indicates the total revenue and the total cost and profit. Okay, OY axis indicating total revenue, total cost and profit, and OX axis indicates the quantity. Okay, and this curve is called as a profit curve, and this is the total revenue curve, and this is total cost curve. Okay, now once again I'll draw here the few things which I wanted to clearly indicate. Okay, now look to this. See, in the total revenue, average revenue, marginal revenue, I told you in the monopoly market the total revenue curve is not a straight line, but instead of that it is an inverted parabola. Okay, this is how will be the shape of total revenue curve. Okay, now listen to me. And the total curve, so this is O axis, this is X axis, this is Y axis. Okay, and here the total revenue curve, which starts from the origin O and it goes on increases, and after reaching a maximum it start falling down. That is total revenue curve. Okay, and the total cost curve will not start from the origin O, but bit above the origin. From here it intersect the total revenue curve and it goes like this, it slopes upward. Okay, so this is the total cost curve. Now listen carefully. What is this curve? Tell me, what is this? It is a total revenue. Okay, so this is a revenue. Revenue is lesser. Cost is greater. The cost curve is above, the revenue curve is below. That means this point indicate the loss. Here it is, that is what mentioned, but it is not clear, because of that I explaining here. Okay, and here you see the cost is above and revenue is below. So this point we call it, we mention as a loss, because always the revenue must be greater than the cost, then only the firm will obtain a profit. But here in this point the cost is higher, revenue is lesser. In this point you see the cost is higher, revenue is lesser. So this point I'll mention here, I'll draw one line here. Okay, let me consider A and B. Okay, so at this point, okay, before A and after B, before A means this part and after B means this part. Before A and after B, the firm is incurring, the monopoly firm is incurring the loss. At point A and at point B, where you can see at this point where the total revenue curve intersect, cutting the total cost curve. That means the total revenue is equal to total cost. At this point the firm is getting a normal profit. Normal profit. At which point? At point A and point B, where the total cost curve intersecting total revenue curve. Total cost curve intersecting total revenue curve. At this point A and B, the firm is getting the normal profit. Before A and after B, the firm is incurring the losses. So when the total revenue and total cost is maximum to get the profit, now you look this, see this is the total revenue curve. So now at this point, which curve is above? Revenue curve is above. This is the cost curve. The cost curve should be lesser, the revenue curve should be greater. So when the total revenue curve, this is the revenue curve, this is the cost curve, when it is maximum, at this point the total revenue, I give this point as C. Okay, so at this point the firm is in a maximum profit. The revenue curve is greater, difference we have at this point. The cost is less, the cost spent by the firm is lesser, the revenue earned by the firm is greater at this point. Okay, so here this point is called as the profit. This point indicates the profit level of the monopoly firm. So the curve, the below curve here you can observe. So from intersecting this level and intersecting here, which this point is indicating, totally this point is indicating the profit level. Okay, now once again I think you understand what the curves I've drawn. So this is, here it is Q, Q2, Q3. Okay, so this is a revenue curve, this is a cost curve. This is cost, this is revenue. This is cost, this is revenue. Here that is before Q2, after Q3, the firm is incurring the loss. At point where the curve are intersecting, at point Q3 and Q2, firm is getting the normal profit. Okay, and at this point B, so where the revenue is on the top, cost is on the lesser, where the profit, the revenue and the cost is in maximum, at this point B, the firm obtains the profit. So this curve which is indicating the profit curve. Okay, so this is all about the short run equilibrium under the monopoly market. Okay, so between product level Q1 and Q2, that is TR, this product, this level, TR is greater than TC, then profit curve difference between the TR and TC is at the maximum. This is the equilibrium of a firm in a short run. Thank you for watching. Any doubts, please clarify and ask from me.